Greg, this is Joel. I forgot to get this to you a couple weeks ago, man. I usually do this summary at the end of the lessons. That's how it looked about a month ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Still just a little bit above that plane line on the downswing right there. That's why, again, as I'm saying, the ball will go both ways on you. Your miss will be a draw at times and a cut at times, a hook and a slice. Hands and arms look great right there. So this was a couple weeks ago. Just that much closer to the plane line creates that much more of a good ball flight. And then we went right outside from there, Greg. You got some pretty good ones, and then when you were in this week, you described it to me that it kind of went away for a week or so. And then when we looked at it, starting out this week, I mean, just a little bit above it there. You see the little bit of the flash of the shaft and the club head there. Just a little bit above it. That looks great there. And what we know, those legs will be more active than we're going to want as time goes on. But like I said, yeah, hands and arms look great there, man. Those legs look more active than we're going to really want on down the road. Remember, don't get into that golf gobbledygook yet, Greg, about that. Now this is this driver inside. And you can see how this, again, that far above the line, just that little bit above the line, will create the two-way miss there for you, Greg, and that's what's, you know, made it easy for you to still miss the ball, slicing it with the driver. This one, like I told you, is kind of a moot point here. Really can't see much from that camera angle. But we went out, man, and you did great with the 8-iron. Remember, you had 2 or 3 really good batches with the 8-iron. Out on the range, out in the good weather we had this week. Really sweet to see. Nothing started straight or left. Everything started right. And then when you got the driver out there on the range, remember, it was cutting and cutting and cutting for the first batch or so. But then you just, but the good news was they were starting to the right strong. So that's a good indicator that you're on that plane line very well. See, there's just that hint there, buddy. Kind of being over it, where you're going to get a lot of slices. So you got it on that plane line better out there, and then you just really had to close those hands early, man. You started killing it. Didn't hit them all perfect, of course, but you did a lot of good ones. Hit a lot of good ones, and again, strong as can be there you are, Greg, so that helps a bunch. Now, let me show you something here about what we're talking about. Remember, I'm wanting you to keep it simple here. See if that path is outside in, right? And that face is open. It's going to be that slice. Now, if you get it on plane, see, this is good news, right? That's on plane. But there's that slice you've hit with a driver the last week or 10 days. That face is just open at impact. And so that's the slice that you've been hitting. It's been a strong push slice. And what you want, right, is this. Where it's starting to the right strong like it has been for you last week or two and like it did during our lesson this week. But then by virtue of closing that face earlier, you're starting to see that kind of ball flight with that driver when you're doing that the last couple weeks. Like you did pretty well with me this week out on the range, seeing the real ball flights outside. So that's absolutely what you're after. And then, like I said, you need some, you know, really months of getting used to that kind of hand-eye coordination, that kind of action through the hitting area and enjoying those ball flights. And then we can work on those legs getting more and more solid. Probably in a few weeks, maybe another 1 or 2 or 3 months, something like that. We can start to work on that, just so then that draw gets tighter and tighter. The draw gets smaller and smaller over time, Greg. That's what you're after right there, as opposed to this, where that club head's just a little too far above it, man, to be totally consistent with your ball flight. Again, you look at the tour players right here. See that club head right there is kind of coming through the top of your shoulder. And what you'll see with all the tour players from this kind of an angle, it ain't going to be coming through their shoulder. It's going to be coming more through their right elbow at that point in the downswing. Doesn't matter who we look at. See, that's significant, especially when you get that drive in your hand, Greg. That is significant. That far above it is going to create those ball flights you've been experiencing, that inconsistency. This is what's creating the tour players' ball flights. All right, man, those are great questions you had the last couple sessions. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.
Hi, this is Joel. I'm here at Dr. Todd Elworth's office. He's one of the best chiropractors in the region. He's a TPI certified golf fitness professional, and I really want you to know about him because he can help you a lot with your golf fitness, just as he's helped my young student Taylor here in the last year or so.
And how we met, Taylor came into my office with back pain. Basically what we took him through is numerous screens to find out why he had the back pain. I don't only treat back pain, but my second goal is to find out exactly why he has this problem. So we analyzed him, we find out he has some certain weaknesses, we're putting on some strengthening exercises. He's doing very well.
He's done great. He's had very little back pain, and that's mainly because he injured himself working too hard at the golf course. So he's done his exercises, he's felt great. I'm very, very thankful that Todd's been able to help Taylor in this great way. And I want him to help you too if you have any questions at all about your golf fitness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to look at the deep squat. We're also going to convert it to the K-trainer. We're going to look at some movement. What we're only going to look at is side bend movement with the K-trainer, okay? Taylor, put your arms over your head, and let's have you do a squat, and let's see what it looks like. Good. Come back up. Do another one. A couple of dysfunctional moves. As you can see, the K-vest turned red a couple times. But what I normally see, an athlete go down a little bit. This is what I normally see with some of my athletes. That's about it, as far as we go. We'll see the knees coming together. We'll bend them together. And as you can see, it totally turns red on the K-trainer there. Some of the corrective exercises that we certainly would do, don't just have a gentleman hold a weight, 10-pound weight straight out here. What this weight does, starts to engage the whole core. Now do the squat. And how much easier that is. The weight just drags you right down, the core is activated, the hips totally open up. Some of the other things that we do to correct this is where you use a cheer, put your heels up on the board, and now do your squat. A little bit of rotation at the bottom of the squat. Much better than I originally was.
This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 or 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlink. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment. And we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shot, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the stem meter, 10.5 on the stem meter, and 12.5 on the stem meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. Then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and hit some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied and things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is with the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.